Okay, guys, welcome back to Transmit the 1075. Here we are again. The deck gun, the most underutilized tool in the fire service. This is going to be part number 4. So just FYI, when you check these out, you'll see where it says the deck gun and there's a little flame. If there's one flame, it's part 1. If it's 2, it's part 2. If it's 3, it's 3. You got it. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a video because I want to go over this whole scope of this incident. Not to ridicule, not to make fun. Actually, someone died at this incident, and this is a rural community. And so, look, the experience of the guys, their ability to respond, the delay in response, there's a whole sort of things. It's not their fault in many cases, so I won't, not going to give them too hard a time. But there is some interesting things to be seen here. And so let's just start the video and go. So this is a video camera across the street. One of these homes is going to catch fire. So this is one of the things I want to show that's really interesting is that, so start looking around, is that let's see how long it takes for civilians to recognize the spot and to report an incident. So is it going to be over this house, or these down over here, or this house here, or this one on the corner here? We'll just sit back, let guys watch, look at the windows, look at the roof lines. You tell me. You can mark down. Actually, you can do that. Mark down in the comments. I'd like to see. I'll let this go for a while. When you see, for the first time ever viewing this, if you see the fire at a window, tell me at what time here, how many seconds. We're at 46. Tell me when you've spotted the fire. Right, we're going to assume at some point when we start setting the clock that the fire has not been called in yet. All right, I'm going to stop the video right now. I'm going to assume, I'm sure most guys have spotted this a lot earlier than this, but since smoke is now pushing out quite obviously, we're going to assume civilians are now spotting this and that a 911 call is being placed. But we're at the 2-minute mark, right? So one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this beyond the deck gun conversation is that so many I've been to fires. I used to work in the city. I worked in the suburbs. I worked all over the place. I did city EMS. But we would come up on jobs where I just couldn't believe a building could be burning this much without someone calling it in. And so this is, in my view, this is a great example of this because at this stage of the game, let's just assume now that this is when it's going to be reported in. And I think the national average, or I guess what departments are shooting for, is that you should arrive between 4 minutes on dispatch. If your company, if your career department or volunteer department is arriving within 4 minutes of dispatch, that's considered to be very effective and a good response time. So here we go. We're at 2 minutes. So this is obviously just starting to crank up. It's been burning for a little while, but it's now starting to get a little bit more air. I think it's hard for me to tell, but I'm assuming right. The window now is just blown, and now the fire is going to get some oxygen. So obviously, without question, someone I would have to think is calling this in or has called it in already. can hear a smoke detector going off as well. Here comes your friendly UPS driver. So we're at 1 minute of theoretical 911 call has been made. And now the fire is obviously starting to increase in size rather quickly. So you'll see here, this civilian neighbor knocks on the door, see if anyone comes out. I would have thought you'd be aware of this if you were in this structure. This building is quite large. You have this house, but it goes out back, and there's some side porches here. My guess is several families are living in this structure. I'm sure it was broken up back in the day. It was probably a single family when it was first. Oh, so here we go. Someone has just come to the door and run back inside. So another thing I want to comment about, which I thought guys would find interesting, and I like to look at buildings from the outside and try to visualize in my mind what the outline is, right? Because when you go inside with your mask, you really need to get an idea of where you are when you can't see. So I would have thought that this door has something to do with this apartment, that this room is on fire, but it would appear to me that there's a staircase here. So this, if I can see properly, you'll see a couple times, I'll explain further when you see a little bit further, but I get the impression that this is going upstairs. And this person has just returned to get a family member. Now, the person just showed themselves again at the door, back inside. But one thing that confuses me is if this appears to be the staircase, right? It looks like it goes up. And I'll be honest with you, when the person comes down, they're going to sort of fall down the steps and come out the door. But you have fire. Now, there was no fire before, so has this burned through the wall? Is there some window that was there? Is there, even though the apartment goes upstairs? It would seem odd that it seemed like these two things were separated by a wall, but now I'm seeing fire on the door side. So would love to know what really is going on in here, but again, I don't know ultimately. See, at some point, the person came down steps and fell, so it seems like that goes up. Now she's saying her son is still in the building. I don't know what this is laying. I think this is like something laying on the stairs. But we have fire now. There's now fire in the egress here to the second floor. This woman is obviously extremely upset. Her son is still in the building. I mean, I won't even comment shooting at a dry cam. I'm sure she's panic-stricken. So now look, I see a kid right here. So this must be her child. So this kid has somehow managed to get out through the side porch. So, all right, I just want to timestamp this. I said at 4 minutes, or excuse me, 2 minutes is when we would have assumed that 911 would have been called, assuming that the first sign of exterior smoke. So this is theoretically when a fire department that has good staffing and good response times are arriving on scene. And my goodness, Look at the volume of fire we have. I got two windows in the front, one on the side. The roof is on fire, and I got fire showing out the door. This is within, as we all know, 6 minutes of this video starting. So when a fire is this big and you wonder how the hell it happens, well, this is how it happens. So I saw the video pause there a little bit. Something seemed odd. So even this time that we have here may be a little bit distorted as far as the overall time there. I'm not sure. That box truck seemed to all of a sudden just show up. So things are still progressing. We're at the 8-minute mark, 8-minute plus. So we're talking 6 minutes since the theoretical phone call. Gentlemen just come running through the property, through the street rather. All right, we got PD on the scene. So we're talking at the 9-minute mark, 9-minute plus. So we got 7 minutes since theoretical phone call. That guy that ran across, I always love a man in his boat. This guy's no dummy. He's getting his boat the hell out of Dodge. All right, I hear FD on the way. Guy's getting his boat out of here. All right, so we're going to just review. Again, I'm not going to be hard on these guys. I just want to show you the tactics here. Some of these aren't the greatest, but that's not my point. My point is going to be the use of hand lines here, and then when they ultimately use a deck gun. Now, personally, right, this would have been, in my view, put this thing in service and hammer this building as hard as you can. But they're going to stretch what appears to be 1 3/4 inches. Again, these guys probably don't have a lot of experience. Wouldn't be the first line that I chose. I mean, if you're going to stretch a line, stretch it 2.5, but it is what it is. What are we at now? We're at 11 minutes now, almost 12, I should say. So we're talking 10 minutes of free burn from the theoretical phone call. All right, pumps in gear, line's getting charged. Again, not these guys' finest hour. This line should have been in service quicker. Again, it seems to me they have some pressure problems. Again, you know, I say the same thing in all 4 of these videos, which is completely ineffective. And that's what's happening right now. Right? The fire is not even acknowledging that water is being squirted on it. Completely zero change. Stretching a second line, I think might be 1 3/4 inches as well. Now this is the third line, I believe. This looks like, again, I think this is a 2.5, although it could be the same line here. Still flowing this line, doing nothing. Fire has not changed. It doesn't even know it's being squirted on. All right, so I'm sorry. Here's the 2.5 here. I've seen this happen a lot too. Like I said, I'm not going to bang on these guys, but like I do notice at times when people are unsure what to do, the always thought is to stretch more hoses and more hoses and more hoses, where I would advocate one line being used properly is better than 3 or 4 being used inadequately. The other thing here, they haven't got a water supply. And now if we do have 2 or 3 lines operating, well, I mean, this is probably 500 gallons, maybe 750, I don't know. It's a rural area, maybe 1,000, but probably 750. All right, he says hit a hydrant. Great idea. Now, again, I said I wouldn't say anything, but my opinion about a chauffeur is always get the first line in service, and then your second primary thing should be first line, get a water supply. Always, because once that first line goes in service, if you don't have a water supply, then there is no first line. All right, so we're at 15 minutes, 15 and a half. So we're at 13 minutes of, again, I would argue free burn because this line is doing nothing. But now we're getting a water supply. You know, this thing is really, it's hard to tell some now because the video camera tends to overexpose and you can't really see what's going on, but certainly have an exposure problem at this point. All right, he's breaking the supply line. This has been a long trek for me to get to my ultimate point, but we're getting closer here. All right, I'm going to push forward here, guys, because it's been a little while. But here we go. All right, so look. This guy right here. This is my buddy right here. All right, so at the 18-minute mark, this gentleman goes up, is going to get the deck gun in service. So we've still, to keep adding to my point, we're at about 18 minutes. So we're at 16 minutes of free burn. He's positioning the deck gun. Supply line has just been charged. All right, we have a water supply. We won't even discuss that the curb just that he just ran the curb over. All right, so probably should have fast forwarded this guy, but we're getting close here now at this point. So again, this line is doing nothing. I mean, some of these rooms I think are almost burned out. They're in the the decay. All right, here we go. I'm going to stop the clock. 19 minutes, 28 seconds. So, what is that, 17? 17 minutes of essential free burn. Here comes the deck gun. Okay, the moment we've been waiting for. Looks to be a straight bore. I can't tell ultimately, but I think it is. Starting to see a large volume of steam. Starting to see things darken down. We've had 20 minutes of free burn, and within 30 seconds, I'm starting to see the fire go out. One deck gun being utilized properly with a good straight bore, with a straight stream, with good power. So look, they've just kicked over. I'm going to end this video here, but this is my point. Had these guys done this in the first 30 seconds, 45 seconds of arrival, they could have made this look like that back here. Okay? Once again, the most underutilized fire tool in the fire service. Okay? Period. They could have dumped these 500 gallons and put a hard knock on this building. Anyway, guys, I hope we stuck for the whole thing. There was a couple interesting things all along the way. I hope it was informative and entertaining. Please check out my other videos and be sure to check out the first 1, 2, and 3 parts of the deck gun, the most underutilized tool in the fire service. Thank you so much, guys. See ya.